We are your local election headquarters, and voters will once again head to the polls this weekend. And for the most part, it's been a very quiet election cycle with low voter turnout. Ashley Shelton is the executive director of the Power Coalition for Equity and Justice. She joins us to explain why voters should be paying attention to this weekend election as well as other elections moving forward. Thank you so much for joining us this morning, Ashley. Just for people who do not know, just tell us just a little bit about the work of the Power Coalition.
Good morning. The Power Coalition is a civic engagement table, and so we spend our time talking to voters, educating voters, and providing them with all the information that they need and support that they need to actually cast their vote, and helping them see the connection between voting and their power as a citizen in in their neighborhood, in their community, their state, and ultimately federal government.
Now, of course, with the upcoming, we just recently had an election back in October, a few weeks ago, a very historic low voter turnout. Our Secretary of State here in Louisiana has said that his expectations for this weekend's election is also going to be a low voter turnout. What's your reaction to a lot of people not being, I guess, enthused about the upcoming races?
Well, I mean, I think it's been a couple of things. One is, we have to be real about, like the role that poverty plays and, people being able to actually engage in the political process. A lot of folks don't want to talk about the fact that Louisiana is the second poorest state in the country. And there's certainly implications of that. And so if you're working two jobs or more, being able to access your vote when polling locations are open on election day certainly is a barrier. And then I also feel like folks, have been hurting quite a bit in our state, and certainly following COVID, have struggled to hold on and make their lives work. And in the midst of the insurance crisis, homeowners insurance going up, $500 to $700 a month for some ratepayers, and so many other issues that are compounding voters getting engaged. But, one of the things that, Lieutenant General Honore says all the time is that democracy is fragile, and the only way that it works is if we vote. And so, yes, there are lots of things that are broken in our state, and the only way we can fix it is by voting.
So what do you think it is going to take to actually get more people to get out to the polls, despite, all those challenges that, the state is facing?
I think that at the end of the day, Power Coalition has really been focused on getting the word out. I mean, it's been a very quiet election season. And so unlike most statewide elections where there's a lot of, energy and information, it's been really quiet. And so folks are not really clear about what's happening and when do we vote and those kinds of things. And so Power Coalition certainly has been using all, forms of media. So whether it's social media, billboards, radio, events around the state to try to engage as many people as possible. And so education is key. Also, too, at our website at powercoalition.org, we have, we have several sample ballots. So wherever you live in the state, you can pull down a sample ballot. You can also go to the Secretary of State's website and do the same. I also encourage folks to also go to the Secretary of State's website and make sure they know where their polling location is, because there have been several polling location changes and closures. But they will give you that information on the website. So before you leave home, have a voting plan. Also, we're providing rides to the polls. And so if you live in Baton Rouge, you can dial 225-725 5909, and we are providing Uber and Lyft codes. And yes, they will drop you off to vote. They will wait until you are finished and then bring you back home. And so we're, just trying to provide as much access and remove as many barriers as possible.
And just one last question. Of course, on this coming election, that we're going to have 4 constitutional amendments on the ballot. Are there any other particular issues that you all are focusing on or going to be looking out for?
Yeah, I mean, I think that, we have been reminding folks that there's still work to do, that, we still have several major statewide offices on the ballot. So we have Attorney General, we have the Treasurer's office, as well as the Secretary of State. And then the balance of the House will be decided on November 18th. And so on this coming Saturday, as you're thinking about all the things that you have to do, we really encourage folks to prioritize having their voices heard and to walk in their power so that we can we can actually have, a government representative of what people want, unlike what we saw in the primary where, a very small percentage of the population elected, the leadership that got elected there. We also know that many places have other races like sheriff and other things on the ballot as well. So in addition to these amendments, you have several other things that are still on the ballot. So please engage. Again, we've got information on the amendments. We've got information on the ballot for where you live. And so if you're in the greater Baton Rouge area and Ascension and West Baton Rouge, Point Capee, there are definitely some very important things on the ballot. So please engage.
And just one last, because if you need a ride to the poll, not having a ride to the poll cannot be an excuse. Can you just give out that number one more time where you can pick up people and drop them off? 225-725-5909. And all of that information is at our website at powercoalition.org as well. Okay, and we'll be sure to post all of this on brproud.com. Thank you so much, Ashley Shelton with the Power Coalition. You have a great day.
You too. Thank you.